In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. Tonight, I have a very special guest. Mr. Z is in the building. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Z?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. You know, it's a Monday night, which is, it's always dragging our feet, but I love to finish my Mondays with a conversation. So thank you for being here and making time for
this,
man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Is it weird if I call you Mr. Z, man? Because
you can call me Mr. Z or Jer, either one.
I got you. I think I'm going to stick to Mr. Z for now, just because
let's do it.
I haven't gotten to Jer just yet. I feel like I got to earn that. But, yeah, man, for all the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, let me give you the breakdown real quick. We do an intro, which is this is the intro where we're at right now. After this, we'll jump into an icebreaker. After the icebreaker, we're going to do a little warm up. And then we'll get into the main meat of the podcast where we'll turn to the Wheel of Fate, where we'll give the wheel a spin, and whichever number it lands on, that's where the conversation will flow. We'll do a little exercise called the 34th mantra before we reach the closeout questions. Sound good to you, Mr. Z?
That's amazing to me.
All right, man. Well, first question all the time is, how are you? You doing well? You doing great? How you been lately, man?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I can't complain coming back from winter break, being a teacher. Kind of like that structure gives me a little bit of, after 2 weeks of doing whatever I want, I like that structure coming back. And then, I'm going to Mexico in 2-3 days, so missing a little bit of work, but
I got you.
It's for the lady's birthday, so we're gonna do that.
That's what's up. How long y'all gone for?
Thursday to Monday.
Oh, quick trip.
Yeah. Some light.
Have you ever been, or first time?
Cancun once, but we're gonna be in the west part, the wine country out there in Rosarito. So
I have no
I'm
idea.
excited. Something new. Me either. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just jumping along,
For sure.
But I'm excited.
I got you, man. That sounds great, man. I'm glad that we get to connect before you head out on this trip. And safe travels for sure.
Appreciate that.
All right, man. Without further ado, let's jump into our icebreakers.
All right.
Here we go. Anyways, you see the 34 kind of like shadowing in your face right now?
Yeah.
That's your how many seconds you got for this this little icebreaker. So let me ask you real quick. You want to do a this or that or a word association?
Ooh, let's do this or that.
All right, I got you. We're gonna do as many as we can in 34 seconds. All right.
All right, let's get it.
Here we go. Winning the lottery or finding your soulmate?
Winning the lottery.
Night or morning?
Morning.
Underestimated or overestimated?
Me? Underestimated always.
Books or movies?
Book.
Show or tell?
Show.
Logic or emotion?
Logic.
Plans or surprises?
Surprise.
Regret or doubt?
Doubt.
All right, there we go. You finished off the 34 seconds. I gotta look back and see how many you got. I feel like that was a good number though, around 8 or 9, which is above average, I would say, with the this or that.
Hey, let's go.
All right, so I'm gonna push a little bit harder on one of those. Let's go with the last one. Regret or doubt.
I thought you were gonna say number one. No lie.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that to you.
I was gonna say I already found mine, so I don't. I just need the lottery. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. Man. I feel you. So you said regret or doubt, and you said doubt, I believe.
Yeah, I said doubt.
Why did you lean towards that? Yeah.
I rather have. I feel like doubt is kind of in the moment. Like I have these doubts, or I'm feeling doubt about this. I rather doubt something than regret it later on, if that makes sense. I rather look at something, a situation, a person, whatever it may be, and have these doubts and be wrong about those doubts than to later on regret something that has to be with that person or thing or whatever.
I feel you. You mind me asking you, when's the last time you doubted yourself and you kind of like surprised yourself?
Ooh, I don't know. So I don't know. Doubting myself. I'm probably, I always feel like teaching is a performance, and like being a teacher, I'm always like, am I good enough for this type of thing? Do I know enough? Do I have the skills to reach the kids who are harder to reach? Am I good enough to even be teaching other teachers how to teach? Because I have 2 student teachers this year. So sometimes I feel like that, but then I'll be like, I'm killing it today. And, I kind of set my mindset to that. I'm like, I'm doing pretty well. 5 years in this thing, no issues, man. I'm happy.
For sure, man. As far as doubting yourself, it's funny. I remember I mentioned to one of the kids today, like, oh yeah, I got an interview with Mr. Z later. And then they're like, oh yeah, we love Mr. Z. So like everybody loves Mr. Z, man. So as far as doubting yourself, dog, I think you're doing it, dog.
I appreciate that, man. For real.
Yeah, words from the kids, man. I'm not in your class. So I'll give you some honest feedback.
Come through anytime, man. You're welcome.
For sure, man. Well, thank you for doing the icebreaker with me.
Absolutely.
Let's jump into the warm up. So, and I had these graphics planned and they're not popping up, so I'm kind of like, damn. I wanted to wow you, dog.
No, it's all good. I'm pretty wowed already, man. Don't even worry.
For sure, man. For sure. All right. So, first question in the warm up is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
Ooh. All right. What does the audience want to know about me? What does the audience want to know about me? I don't know. I'm a go happy person. I'm very go with the flow. I like doing random things. If you ask any of my friends, I'm not an enigma, like, because I'm more like sporadic though. You know what I mean? Like I'm not tough to figure out, but I'm very, willing to try new things.
I got you.
What else? I'm a huge nerd. If you look, I got Britney Spears hiding in the background right there. I got all my like video games, like my One Piece stuff. Like I got figures everywhere. I'm a huge nerd. I love music. I love hip hop culture. I love dancing. I like meeting new people. Other than that, I'm a run-of-the-mill guy.
I got you, dog. I was gonna say, man, like you got the Britney behind you. I don't know if the same for you, but she was my first celebrity crush growing up for sure.
She was one of them, man. Her, I got you top 3. Her, Topanga.
Okay, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, man. Come on.
Oh yes, yeah. I don't think I understood what I was feeling for Kimberly, but like by the time Britney came around, I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm feeling. But yeah, I hear you, dog. I had a question, but it flew out of my mind, so let's just move on. No, you good, man. You good. Second question in the warm up is, oh man. See, it's all good. I'll roll with it. Second
what was
question. That was the icebreaker thing I was trying to show you earlier, and then it messed up, but it's all good.
Pop up. I got you.
Yeah. Oh, the seat. There you go again. I need to get that. Like my second question for you in the warm up is, how would you like to be honored? If there was some sort of act I could do to express the energy you possess, what could I do, man?
What you could do, or like what anyone could do for me? What do you?
I would say more in general, anyone. But if you want to give me a specific one, feel free.
No. I didn't have anything in my head. I was just wondering. I
feel you,
honestly, like I don't really like that, like putting myself on a pedestal like that. I don't really like to be honored. I'm just more like, I like to be at the same level as people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel like I'm any better than most people or some people at things. Like, I just like being, if that makes sense. I just like being with the crowd, being with the people. But if I had to choose something, like a party, man, like we're all dancing, we're all having a good time. But not like a party for me, if that makes sense. Just like something that, I can invite everyone to play some good music, some good food, some good drink, like something like that,
Sure, man. The way I kind of frame this question is like, let's say, you move to a different country, it's your birthday, and all your homies are like, man, let's just do something for Mr. Z today. A party, I'm down with that.
I know, man. I like a good party where people can just enjoy themselves. No hate, no beef, no nothing. Just come in, have a good time, meet some people, and get out of there.
I hear you. What was the best party you ever been to, if you can remember?
Best party I've ever been to, man. I've been to a few really good weddings. Like every wedding I've been to has been like popping. Food is good. The dance floor is great. Just good feelings all around. I will say my best birthday party was like when I was 7, and unfortunately I didn't get to celebrate. I got sick. I was a very sickly kid. Like I had asthma growing up. Like I had pneumonia, like these things, and I just was like, my parents got a pony, like a jump house. All my friends from whatever grade, 3rd grade, came through, and then I just slept the entire time. And I was so bummed when I woke up, and that was just like such a core memory for me that I remember feeling so disappointed at how great my birthday was, and I didn't even get to celebrate.
That's what I know. I asked for your best party, and then you said one that you didn't participate in. But I get it.
The best party, man.
Yeah, it sounded epic. It sounded epic. Oh, damn. And so like after that, where you come to school, everyone's just talking about your party, like, yo man, your birthday was great.
Yeah, I was upset, man. I was so sad.
I got you.
I mean, like everyone had a good time, and I can't hate on that. So even like 3rd grade, I was just like, yeah, man, like I'm glad you guys came.
For sure. Yeah, it's funny, man. Like those parties as a kid, I don't know. Do you like them? Did you like the parties more as a kid, or now that you're an adult? Like, it's 2 different kind of perspectives on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I like both. Like, I like the fact that like, you're just hanging out with, like being Filipino and like being Salvadorian, like we got big families. So it's just like, like I got time to hang out with the cousins and like, meet cousins I've never met before, be in the room playing Mario Kart or Super Smash Bros. Like that type of vibe has always been so dope as a kid. But, like as you get older, like, oh, now I can, hang out with the adults. I can have a drink. I can play beer pong. I can invite my friends, whoever. And like, even to like today, like we just celebrated my brother's 21st, and he had a big party, and like we had like the relatives there, and like my friends or his friends, and then he has his own friends. So like it was just more about coming together and celebrating him. So both, like for some reason the family party is always like, I feel like a little different, especially when you're Filipino.
No doubt, man. I kind of miss them. It's like my family has been a little more. They all moved around in the Bay, so we're not as close as we used to be. So It's been hard to get together. I feel like holidays is really the only time nowadays. Luckily, my girls' family, they still kick it like, once a month, do a family gathering or so. Mm-hmm. So I still kind of get that, just in a different way. But shout out to my girls' family, shout out to my family. Hope we can get together sooner than later. But yeah. Filipino parties, dog. I'm sure
I'm telling you, those are the ones, man.
We could do a whole episode about those.
I know, we could talk for days.
For sure. Let's move on to the last question of the warm-up, which is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Probably honestly 9, man. Like,
damn. All right, I got
you.
I
feel very comfortable with myself, and I've always been comfortable with myself, even growing up. I was a nerd very, very early on, and I kind of fell into that, but I also was super into hip hop and dance and stuff, so I got into that, and I never was part of a clique, really. Like I've always just been like during lunch in high school, I would like walk around and like talk to everyone, and that was kind of my thing. Like and by no means I was never like a popular kid, right? Like that kind of term, but like I was popular in the sense that like I could go to these different like cliques and say, hey, how's it going? And they'd accept me.
I hear you, dog. Yeah. I think that very similar experience I had too. Did you go to a big school or a small school?
I think the size of Burton, honestly, but
I gotcha.
not super big. I think my graduating class was like maybe 180, 200.
I hear you, dog. Mine was about like 90. I think 90 of us was able to.
Oh,
walk.
damn.
Yeah, it was pretty. I went to ISA. I don't know if I told you that already, but ISA here in San Francisco, we had like 400 kids, the whole school. So
oh, damn.
super small community, and like everybody kind of knew each other. So it made it easier to kind of like, vibe with everybody. What would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
Honestly, probably my ability to make friends. Like I like go out of my way to, if I meet someone new, I wouldn't say to make them like me, more kind of just like, I like to get to know people. And in that kind of process of getting to know people, I like at the end of that like interaction, I feel like I'm a friend, or like I've gotten a new friend, or like I've got someone I can like message and talk to, or like be like, hey, what you up to? Let's link up for something,
No doubt. Would you say that was something that you were born with or something you grew into?
I think it's something I grew into. I mean, like my parents always tell me the story that like in kindergarten, like we would have different activities like stations and stuff, and I could not just keep at one. You know what I mean? I was just like, like I would just be like, all right, I'm over this one. Let me go to the next one. Let me talk to the people who are in this group. All right, let me go to the next one. But like as the years went on, I'm just like, I'm so willing. I'm just very perceptive and just like willing to, give my energy to people who are worthwhile or who make it seem they're worthwhile at least,
Yeah, I gotcha. It sounds like you're a very giving person, dog. Like as far as getting to know people and hearing them out, hearing their stories, because that does take energy.
Right.
Has there ever been a time where you felt like that was like taken advantage of, or something that, kindness from weakness and all that stuff? Yeah. Your perspective.
I mean, of course, I feel like, of course, like there's probably a few instances, here and there, but like that's when you like realize that your energy is not being reciprocated back, and you're just like, all right, I don't hate this person, but like I don't need to waste my time to hit this person up or hang out with you. Like if you're not gonna give me the respect or the same amount of energy that I'm giving you, and that goes for friendships, relationships, family. Like I'm always just like, yo, if you're not respecting me and like what I bring to the table, then like why would I even give you airtime?
Yeah, I hear you. Let me see. All right, dog, that was the end of our warm-up. Yeah, you got through it. How you feeling? I know you were nervous a little bit, but you feel a little more comfortable now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Before we get to these hard hitters, man, let me ask you real quick about teaching, since you are a teacher. What inspired you? What got you into it, man?
It's funny because I feel like I tell this story quite a bit.
I hear you.
Because of, like, just because my students always ask, right? Like they're always like, why a teacher, Mrs. Z?
Yeah.
I started, trying to fulfill our stereotype, the Filipino stereotype. I was trying to be a nurse for a long time.
I hear you.
I took some years out in at City College. So I went from Sonoma, 18, moved to San Francisco. Went to City College. I got into some cool schools, but I was just like, I'm not totally sure what I wanted to do. I was just like, I can't be spending mine or my parents' money like that at a, 4-year or UC, just because of that money issue. So I went to City College and like kind of like, like I was sharing a room at that time, and I was just like, yo, let's try this nursing thing out. Like I was really good at chemistry, but like me being good at chem was because of the math aspect of chemistry. And then it got to like anatomy and like some of my bio classes. I was super good at like the lab portion of it, but I just could not really wrap my mind around wanting to like, I need to learn every bone, every, like every dent of a bone has a name. eventually I was just like kind of looked at myself. I was like, I'm not good at handling debt, which is something nurses like do a lot. Like I have a hard time like processing debt. I'm not the best with like bodily fluids, like like feces and like all that is just like a no for me. Like blood don't scare me, but like it's the other stuff that gets me.
Everything
and
else.
Then literally everything else. And I was just like, man, what am I doing? Like I was like I'm gonna be around those things that I can't really mentally handle. And then I was just like, what am I good at? I've always been good at math. Like I took like geometry as an 8th grader, like did calculus as a junior. And then I was just like, what can I do with math that isn't sitting at a desk all day? Like I have this personality like where I don't sit down. It's hard for me to sit down. Like if you notice me like during this like conversation, I'm moving, you know what I mean? Like that I can't like just sit still. So like what can I do with math and that isn't sitting still? And so I was just like, and I mean like my main goal, like even when I was trying to be a nurse, is like I want to help people. You know what I mean? Like that was always the goal. Like the moral goal that I had within me was like, how can I help people? And so I was just like, let's do some teaching. I can help students who, like you hear so often that math is like their worst subject, their most hated subject, their whatever, right? And I feel like I attest that to not having good teachers in math. Like think about like when we were in high school, like how many times people are just like, yo, my math teacher sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like I've heard that so many times, but I was blessed to have great high school math teachers who encouraged me to like do well and just like fostered my craziness in their classroom. So I was just like, all right, let's do it. Let's learn some math and let's learn how to teach. And so I transferred to SF State, finished my math credentialing or my math degree there, and then did my credentialing there for teaching.
For sure. Man, it's crazy that you teach math. Because growing up for me, man, it was a subject I liked and I enjoyed. But then you were talking about, making sure you have good teachers. I didn't have a bad teacher, but my junior year, after I think Algebra 2 is pre-calc, I was in pre-calc. Our teacher was gone for 7 months or something out of the year because he had a family emergency, and I lost it after that. Like my building block for math, because they tried to put me in calc the next year. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing anymore, and that really like derailed. I think someone asked me like, what was a moment in your life that kind of changed things for you? That was probably one of those moments, man. Because yeah, and yeah, for any kids listening, you got to make sure you have these building blocks, and I think in my mind, every grade is like adding to that power or whatever until you kind of find how you want to use those skills. But yeah, it was crazy.
Absolutely. It's just so crazy to me because there's so much research about like a kid in like 2nd, 3rd grade, and as soon as like someone tells you you're bad at math, like you kind of form that personality or that like theme in your head that you're always going to be bad at math, and that happens so often still that like they don't want to try because they've already been told they're bad at something,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's true. I would say a lot, especially when kids struggle early in the years in math, and it's like, all right, it's really up to the teacher to kind of like get them a speed, spend that extra time with them. But it doesn't always happen. I know I had a lot of classmates the same way, and what's funny is that they tried to put me in calc. I didn't do well. I was like, I gotta get out of here. They put me down to geometry because it was like a freshman class or whatever. It was my senior year. And I'm there, and luckily, and I guess a big reason why I work in a high school was I was able to kind of help the people or the freshmen at the time kind of understand geometry. And in high school, I think that's how the adults kind of viewed me. I was already kind of like somebody who liked to be in a group project and help elevate the students struggling to a point where like they understand the subject matter. But yeah,
that's super dope.
I mean,
that's super dope. Like that you even got the opportunity to like help people, even though you were like, you probably already took that class, right? Like,
yeah. Or like I had a good understanding already. So they were like, well, let's just go in there, kind of just be a TA kind of thing. But yeah, I kind of wonder what life would be like if math wasn't something I had like, lost or didn't get an opportunity to
Right.
learn about. But that's water under the bridge, and maybe I should challenge myself to enroll in pre-calc again.
Let's go take calculus together, man. I'm trying to get my credits up, so.
You gonna carry me, dog. I'm gonna ask you for all the notes.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's been years, so like I might have to like read up on a few things.
No doubt. All right, dog. Let's jump into the main meat, which is the Wheel of Fate. We'll pull up the wheel.
Oh, there we go. We got that worked. That was great.
The graphic worked, but now the wheel ain't popping up. But let me see if I could do a quick fix. If not, it's cool. At this time, is there any questions you have for me? There's a new thing called I'm trying to do 34 answers, which is separate from 34 questions. But if you do have a question for me, allow me to put something in. If not, it's cool too. No pressure.
I'm trying to think. Come back to me. I'll think of something nice.
It's good, man. All right. This wheel is not popping up, and it's all right. Oh.
All good, man. Oh.
It's popping up a little bit, but then disappears. Trying to figure it out, and I don't think I'm gonna figure it out right away. So, all right, man. I'm gonna give it a spin. You just gotta believe me.
All right, man. I trust you.
All right, for sure, dog. Here we go with the first spin. As a reminder, any question too deep, feel free to pass. But you got number 3, which is, when's the last time you forgave yourself?
Last time I forgave myself. That's a question. Last time I forgave myself. That's a deep question. I don't know. It's hard to think about, just because like when I get into like certain positions, or when things happen and I know I'm in the wrong, I always like acknowledge that I'm wrong, or try, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that. Like, I tried to, like understand that I did something wrong, and like, I'll think about it, I'll dwell on it like a day or two, but like, I don't know. I think it's just who I am to kind of be like, okay, like, what can I do better? Or like, what can I change so that something like that will never happen again? So I'm trying to think of a specific instance, because that sounds like super corny, or
no, you're fine. That sounds like
not corny, but like what's it called? Cliche.
Yeah.
It sounds cliche. Like, oh yeah, I forgive myself all the time.
It sounds like what a 9 out of 10 would, that's how they would respond. You just know yourself so well, dog.
Yeah, because it's not like I don't mess up. I mess up constantly, but I'm just like, all right, man. Like, all right, let's try to do better.
I could flip it a little bit more for you, but
yeah, give me something.
How about, when's the last time you were like super hard on yourself? You were kind of like, you kind of had to give yourself some space, or like someone had to remind you, like, hey man, you're being kind of hard on yourself right now. Like, everyone's kind of going through this.
I think, in the most recent memory, it's kind of just like, man, I have a lot of friends right now who are, getting active and like stuff like that, like trying to work out and be fit and stuff. And I'm just like, man, I need to do that. I need to like watch like everything I eat. I need to go like, run 6-7 miles right now. Like, and then I'm just like, man, I got a full-time job, like I got, things to do at home. I got family, friends. I have a lot of things on my plate, and I'm just kind of like, all right, well, maybe I can do some of this sometime, and then kind of, allocate my time to, getting into the gym a little bit more. And that's what I've actually been trying to do. Like during summer periods, sometimes I'll be running at school around the track.
Oh, it's not.
I did on Friday. Like, I ran 2 miles, because I was just like, damn. Because I have an Apple Watch, so I see like my friends' progress, like their progression and stuff. So I'm just like, damn, he's out here running like 8 miles, and I'm over here just like eating fried chicken. Like, I cannot be doing this every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that, and like, I messaged my friends. I was just like, yo, I did 2 miles, and like I got under my normal time, and they're like, yo, that's a success.
For sure.
Things like that, really.
No, I got you. I think that was a perfect example, man. And thank you for sharing. And I know it's
Yeah.
not always easy to talk about those things. Um, but yeah, I mean, working out for me right now, I've been trying to what's it called? Before the new year, I was like, I'm gonna try to go vegan or vegetarian at least.
Right.
And I do pretty well, but Filipino family. I stay with my folks, so my mom be cooking, and she does as much as she can for me, but she also is like, she's it's got to make those dishes, and for me, I come home and I'm not. Anytime I try to be vegan or vegetarian, I feel like I'm hella picky, dog. Like I go out with friends and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I can't eat that. Or we gotta eat somewhere else." And it's like all because Jan's going vegetarian right now, so we can't.
Right.
And I'm like, so yeah, it's been really hard to reconcile those two things I'm trying to do. And now into the new year, like same thing. Now it's like I want to fast, like do the whole 8 hours. Like you only eat for 8 hours out of the day. Still not doing it. Like it's a work in progress. So yeah, I mean,
I feel you, man. Gulai boys out here, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Some of you guys know exactly what that means.
I mean, I'm not on that like tip right now, but I'm definitely on like, man, like I'm trying not to eat out so much, but it's just like, after a long day, it's like, man, I can just pick up something on the way home, or I can just, I can go to Whole Foods and get like a hot bar thing, which is exactly what I did right before this. Like,
I feel you, man. Well, I was gonna ask, what's your comfort? Like, what was your comfort food if you were gonna come home from a hard day's work? Where you want to pick up at?
It's so weird. Like, it depends. Like, it depends on my mood, because like I try not to eat the same thing every day, like 2 days in a row. But I love soups. Like, it's so weird. Like I feel like I'm one of the few people who like one of their favorite dishes is just soup. Like I love soup. Like number one is dumplings or like dim sum. And then I got like soups and porridges. Like I love like Asian soups, like Latin soups, like everything. Like give me a hearty bowl of deliciousness and I'm in it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's like my comfort, because I'm just like, we live in San Francisco, it's foggy. I can get a bowl of pho right here. I can get a bowl of ramen. I can get like, I've been making, what's it called? Arroz caldo. Like, I learned my grandma's recipe and stuff, so I've just been making that. Like on really cold days or sad days, I'm just like, let me channel my grandma real quick.
That's what's up, dog. That's what's up. For sure. Let's give the wheel another spin.
All right, let's get it.
Time.
Oh, I can see it now.
Yeah. I finally got it working. So you got number 18, which is, what would you like to forget? This is something where I feel like we learn a lot of things growing up, and then, what's something that you wish that you could unlearn or kind of just not remember anymore?
Yeah, man, let me give you the cliche answer. I'm one of those people that just like, I'm not going to forget about that, like anything. Like I have a good memory. Like I have one of, like, it's not photographic, but like I was telling you earlier, like I remember my 7th grade, like party, like, or my 3rd grade party. Like I am good at remembering things, and like I don't really need to forget anything. Again, going back to your other question, like I'd be forgiving myself when I do something wrong. It may take some time, but like eventually I'm gonna come to that conclusion. Like, yo, I gotta move on. I gotta forgive. Or just let go. You know what I mean? Like if I can't forgive myself, then I gotta let go. But like I don't really like forgetting things, because I don't know. They're just like not me. Like I don't forget anything, and I get upset with myself when I forget things. Like even just like little things. Like, damn, I forgot my keys. I never forget my keys. I forgot my credit card at like at the bar or at the restaurant. I never do that. Like I get mad at myself for that.
I got you.
Like I don't know. Forgetting is just like I like it's something I try not to do.
Oh, let me give you one of my examples. See if there's something that's that hits a little closer for you. For me, growing up, I think like, let's just say, I don't know about you, in Filipinos, there was some kind of homophobia, growing up. And I remember my dad would tell me, like, if you hit a girl, you're gay, or if you wear pink, you're gay, you know, like
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. So,
Of
you know,
course.
for a while, that was something that I was like, yeah, I can't do these things. I mean, I'm sure he said it for good reasons, but like wearing pink or like any kind of, you know, girly color to him was like, nah, that's not it. And then
Right.
now that I'm older, it's not that I don't really care no more. But I know if I rock something, my dad would be like, yo, why you rocking that? Like, you know, da da da.
Right.
So yeah, that's still something I wish that, like, you know, I didn't know growing up, so I would never make those assumptions about certain people or like, you know, all these things. But yeah, I don't know if that brought something up for you, but if not, it's all good.
I mean, like, you know, growing up in a brown household, we hear that all the time, right? Like, we
Yeah.
hear those certain things. I will say, like, I don't think, like, you know, like, we also came from a different era. There's so much to unpack there, right?
Yeah.
Like our parents are even worse because they're from the era before that. You know what I mean? And again, I don't think it's like forgetting. Like I remember this like moment, like where you know, like I think my dad said something like super ignorant, and I like even like back then I'd be like, no, you're wrong. Like
Yeah.
that is not what you're saying is not right. Like sorry, like what you're saying is like absolutely false. Like this color does not make me this way. Like these things don't happen like that. And because
Yeah.
you know, like I mean, my dad is Salvadorian, so he's like that culture is super machismo, right? Like so
Yeah.
from a young age, I've always kind of been put into that like, yo, why aren't you doing this? You need to do this to be more manly or whatever. And like what's funny is I feel like I'm always the one kind of teaching my dad even things today about like certain things like that. Like he's definitely Americanized a lot more and definitely like way more understanding and stuff like that. But like, you know, like they're just from that era, man. It's
They
like
are. Yeah.
there's no like I don't I don't fault them for the things they say, but I can be the agent of change. I can say something that might be able to like trigger them to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying is not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
No,
just
I got you.
like stuff like that. Like even though you know, like if you know how Facebook has those memories that come up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
open that up, like I'd be writing like some cringe or some like, you know,
Yeah.
like even
Yeah.
like being an Asian dude in the Bay, we might have said the N word a few times, which is not okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
You
you,
know what I
man.
mean? And again, that's like from an era of like not understanding the impact of that word, and you know, and people, and like all those things, and like I'd be seeing that, and I'm like, what was I doing? Like, who was I back then to even like utter such things like that? You know what I mean? But now to see that progression within me, I'm just like, you know what? Like I'd be telling people who are not who are not black, yo, you can't be saying that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes
Yeah.
to the classroom, you know what I
Whew.
mean? Like kids still be saying slurs, and now what? This is 20 years later. Like, haven't y'all learned like the impact of these like hateful words, these slurs, and stuff like that? Because you know, like exactly what you're saying, like the saying that's gay back then wasn't like, you know, like there was no PC police back then. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
come from that era, but like knowing now like how terrible and hateful those things are, like I'm just happy that like I've come to a place in my life where I don't use those terms, those words, those, you know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. Yes. A story about me and the N word. My first dream was to be a rapper. Right. This was like at 12 years old,
Right.
and I was at a Catholic school. So like, you know, I'd write in my little rhyme book all these things, and then eventually one of the nuns picked it up and was like, what the fuck are you writing?
Right. Right.
So they, you know, they actually put me in like, what's it called, they got me to see the school therapist, and you know, we're talking, and I mean that moment really clicked in my head as far as like the words I was using and what I was writing about. I was just looking up to, you know, gangsta pop rap in the early 2000s. So it's like
Right.
it's around, the words being thrown around. I thought it was cool.
Right.
But it
That's
definitely
exactly like where we get it from, man. Like it's like oh whoa, like these words are that's what's popping. Like, no, like, oh, I need to say this in order to be cool, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's just like the paradigm shifts, and you're just like, oh wow. Now I'm like this every time I like open up Facebook and the memories pop up. I'm just like, oh man, come on.
Yeah, that's something you'd want to forget. I guess. I don't know.
I guess so, man. You're right. You're right.
It comes
I
back.
guess I come full circle, right? Exactly. I mean, but it's not, but also not, because it's just like I've learned. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to forget that I did that. Like I want to remember I did that, so I can cringe every time I see myself. You know, those memories pop up. I want to cringe and be like, yo, you are disgusting. Like, don't ever do that shit again.
I remember I think that was one of those inspirational things that was going around social media. It's like, if you cringe, that means you've just grown so much that it's making you cringe. Right. But yeah.
It's so true. It's so true.
No doubt. All right, man, I'm gonna give the wheel another spin.
Let's go.
So you think these questions been deep so far, or how you been feeling about
it? Yeah,
it?
Man. And the funny thing is, I'm an open book, man. I'll spill my guts mostly, you know.
I feel you, man.
Not everything. There's certain things, but like I'm pretty open to having conversation and dialogue, and you know.
No, I hear you, man. That's why I created a platform like this, so I can do this with people on the regular. But you might have to start a podcast yourself, man. I don't know.
Or maybe I'll just join you, man. Let's go.
Hey, if you want to, man, let's talk about that in the future. But
all right.
This number 34 for you is, where do you feel like you belong?
Currently, I'm right where I need to be, man. Again, I'm giving you the cliche answers. That's what I'm about.
But you dig it.
I'm just like, you know, like I'm happy. I'm content. I'm in like probably the most healthy relationship I have ever been in. I'm in a good place in terms of, you know, job security and money and stuff like that. My parents are healthy. My brother and sister are healthy. My friends are looking good, healthy. I have a good community. I cannot complain. Like, I mean, of course, shoot. Like, if I won the lottery, of course, why not? But like I'm right where I need to be. You know, I'm grateful for what I have. You know, like, especially being from, you know, these brown backgrounds, you know, hearing my dad's story, my mom's story, and just like all the sacrifices they've done for me to even be in front of you with a computer in a room filled with things that I love, because I like to collect things, like, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm content, grateful. I'm happy. I don't know, man. I'm just like,
No, I got you.
How much appreciation, man. Like, those, like, nonstop. Like, I'm appreciative of the things I have, who I have in my life.
I hear it, dog. I think, you know, one thing I learned, dog, I think we're a lot more similar than we ever got a chance to know, just because I don't see you on the daily, and we don't chop it up all the time. But no doubt. I mean, being back at working at a school, I've had 12 jobs, man. So I've jumped around a lot. Usually last about a year, maybe a little bit less at each job, just because I get tired of it, or, you know, the machine just keeps running, and I'm just like, I don't want to keep doing this for the rest of my life.
Gotcha.
And like, being at a school, you know, it's like the kids make it fresh and new almost all the time. Even if it's year to year, you get new kids that kind of come in and, like, you know, kind of keep you on your toes and make things interesting.
Shake things up, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, man, like, I don't know how old you are. I'm class of 08. Back in high school. That was my graduation year. That's how I like to ask people.
Right, I'm class of 11. I'm not too far behind you, man.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, man, I mean, I think I want to say it'll get better, because getting older kind of feels like things make more sense. But it's not always good for people. Some people don't like, you know, what they're getting into or what they become, versus other people who are like, yo, this is great. I'm becoming more of myself. I'm like understanding why I am the way I am, and I can use that knowledge to kind of just like be the energy that you want to be in the world. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you're there, dog.
Yeah, man. You know, things can get worse, things can get better. But right now, like in this room, like talking to you, like I'm exactly where I need to be. like, I don't know. I can't fathom like doing anything else, being anywhere else, like at this moment.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I think we got time for one more spin, so I'm gonna go ahead and
Let's
do
go.
that. Did you have a hard stop at 8? Let me just ask you that real quick.
Say again?
A hard stop at 8, or can you go like a little bit, like 5?
Oh no, I can go
minutes?
longer. I'm cool.
All right.
I'm cool.
For sure. I just want to make sure time is good.
I'll do all my work tomorrow, man. It'll get done.
Yeah. You have TAs? Give it to your TA.
I know. I should. Gotta write a letter of rec though, so like I gotta write that at some point tomorrow.
I got you. So I think you at number, it looks like at the line between 2 and 3, but you did 3 earlier, so I'm gonna give you 2, which is, what are you trying to prove, if anything?
I'm trying to prove that teachers matter. I'm trying to prove that we're worth the money. You know, and because a lot of people honestly don't see it, man. Like the amount of time, effort, love, sweat, blood, tears, whatever. I'm trying to prove that like we deserve to be paid more for the things we do. You know, I'm trying to prove that, you know, I'm trying to prove brown people can be successful in that. That's another thing I'm trying to prove. Especially my fellow Latinx people, like, you know, like I was so, like in college, I've always been so inspired by this one teacher. God forgive me, I forgot his name, but
you good.
He was my, I think modern algebra teacher, which is like some crazy math you take almost when you're done. But like he's this leading Latino man in the field of combinatorics, which is just like this crazy math that like involves like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. But
sure.
I was just so like appreciative of this man and like him being Latino, like doing math, because like you don't really see that. And like, you know, like I like to put that in the like forefront of the beginning of my year. Like I do a little Kahoot where it's like, get to know Mr. Z. Yeah, I like look Filipino, like sorry, you know what I mean? Like that's how I look.
Don't be sorry, dog.
No, I love it. That's what you're, baby. But like I'm all, you know what I mean? Is like I'm also Latino. I'm just not one thing. Don't put me in a box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like be like, hopefully I can prove to other, you know, brown, black kids that, you know, like just because we are not normal people in these positions, that doesn't mean that that'll stop them. So that's a big thing for me. You know, getting people of color, especially women, into STEM, I think that's a big thing for me too. And again, just pay the teachers, man. Pay the teachers.
I think that's a specific message to, you know, our city, dog.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy, like what y'all been going through the past. I don't know even how long. I just know maybe the crazy stuff that happened a year and a half ago until now, and still dealing with it, man. I think about it every once in a while. I'm like, it's crazy, y'all here, y'all showing up, y'all doing your thing with so much uncertainty and so much like, you know, inconsistency with who's supposed to be like, you know, it's your livelihood. So that's
and
crazy.
They're playing with it, man. Like I honestly can't believe, you know, I don't know if you heard this, like a certain teacher at our school wasn't paid from like August till like November or like October. I wouldn't have come, honestly, I probably wouldn't have come to work.
Yeah.
I need that money to pay this rent, to pay my bills. Like, you can't be playing with people's lives like that. And they think it's a game, bro. Like they're cutting corners just so that they can save money. But look at you now. Now you're wasting more of our money trying to fix these things that you were trying to cut corners on. And it's ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know what it's gonna take, dog. I feel like the issues are just so rooted so deeply that, like, you know, I want to be optimistic, but I always feel like it's a tough position to be in, and it will, who ends up suffering, like you guys, and especially the students at the end of the day. It's like, you know,
exactly.
So yeah, something has to change. I don't know what it's gonna take, but you know who we talking about if you listening to this. Figures out pointing at you. All right, dog. That was the last question for the Wheel of Fate.
Ooh.
You done? You done?
No, that was good. I like it. I like these questions, man.
Right on, man. I don't know if you ever played that one. Was on IG all the time. We're Not Really Strangers. There's a bunch of games with like deep questions nowadays, and I guess it's just this wave, man. Like, you know, I'm glad I caught on to it. But people want to get to know each other a little bit more, and that's crazy idea. And like seeing how it's manifesting through these board games. I don't know if you play board games, but they have a bunch of them now. It's like deep questions with your friends, deep questions with your partner, deep questions. Like it's like damn.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming up now. But yeah. So this next part is the 34th mantra. It'll be a little bit different. I'm gonna need you to just close your eyes and hear me out. Gotta give you the setting. You're in the forest. You know, you're by yourself. You just want to yell something out, right? But I want you to fill out this phrase, which is I am, I can, I will. I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. Whenever you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and then tell me what you would scream in the forest.
I am blank, I can blank, I will blank.
Yeah, those three things.
Okay.
And then you open your eyes when you're ready and then go ahead and do it.
Yeah, man. I am me. I can succeed and I will be successful.
Show, man. Real simple. And now you got a little video, you know, clip of yourself saying that if you ever need a reminder.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But there you go. 34th mantra, man. Thank you for doing that. That was new for me too.
Of course, man.
I've never asked a guest to close their eyes. Yeah, not yet. This was the first time.
I thought you had this like down pat. I thought this was like a common occurrence over here.
Nah, you're the first one, dog, to do it that way. And
I like it.
Right on, man. All right. Close out questions. This next one is going to be from my previous guest. Shout out to Dr. Radas Magwal. I hope I didn't butcher that. His question for you is, what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? People, man. People bring me joy.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be my homies, you people, you know, my family, my girlfriend, just whoever acquaintances, like that brings me joy. Like I could be in a room all day playing video games. I'll be happy. Doing some Magic the Gathering, I'll be happy. But it's literally those connections that are like outside and those like real connections of just meeting people, getting to know them. That brings me joy.
I got you. I wanted to ask you this, since you so much, you know, into meeting people. Do you have a story with like just a passerby, a stranger, like you connected for like a brief moment, probably never saw them again? You have any stories you could share? Stories you could share about that?
Yeah, actually, you know, like when Pokemon Go first came out, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know how there were, you know, what was that? Summer 16, man. Like that was the closest thing to world peace I've ever encountered, right? Like you have people like in the streets running for these Charizards, these like Snorlaxes, right? But everyone was so chill with each other. And I remember like they introduced this thing called raiding or whatever. So you have to go to this specific spot at this specific time, and you have to link up with like 5-6 people in order to beat whatever's there. I met like a few people who were just like, yo, get in my car, let's go catch some more.
Yeah.
Like let's go, you know, let's go do something. Like let's go catch these things and go grab food. And mind you, I've never met these people in my life. We were just there because on Discord it showed the location. You know what I mean? Like
that's wild.
I think that's like and they were just so cool and would hit me up like, hey, we're gonna go like today. You down? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Like I don't have anything to do.
Yeah. The Pokemon Go in the beginning, man, it, like when you said world peace, I definitely feel you, because we was out there just strangers, man. It's like, oh, I dropped, I forgot what it was, but you know, they dropped something,
or like
and then everybody just goes into that one spot. It's amazing.
You go to Beach Chalet too, or what?
No, I didn't go to Beach Chalet. I went to Lake Merced. I remember going to Lake Merced for the water Pokemon right there. But yeah, that it's a trip, man. I mean, we probably seen each other at some point just on our phones,
Oh,
just
for
not knowing.
sure. For sure. Because I used to live in the Sunset, so like I was around Lake Merced too. So
That's an interesting blueprint, though. Like, if someone's gonna try to do something a little more with that, I guess
right.
Pokemon Go, that's a good start. All right, man. Second to last question is, what would you like to ask the next guest? And this is also the question I'd like to answer as well. But if for you, you're gonna give it to the next person, what would you like to ask them?
What things or what changes can you do in your everyday life to increase overall happiness? What can you do currently in your everyday life to increase your overall happiness?
What changes can you do in your everyday life that can bring more happiness?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just making sure I got it right. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah.
I remember, but
like what changes currently can you do to your everyday life that increase happiness?
Gotcha. One of the things I've been trying to do is journal a little bit more. I realized, trying to do it on pen on paper and everything, my handwriting's gone to shit. Like, ever since I started doing this, like, wow, like it is bad, but it still feels good to write things down. And yeah, it's cool just to review the day in my head. What sucked though, I was pretty good at the beginning of the new year. Then the weekend came and I forgot my journal at home. I did other things and like I didn't even remember to bring it. So now tonight is probably going to be the night where I get back on it. But yeah, I don't know if you keep a journal, but I've always been terrible at it. Can never really like keep up with it. But yeah.
Yeah, man, that's super good. That's dope. Like, I know, like, I don't journal as much as I did like a few years back. Like, journaling helped me, like, kind of, with my like the passing of my grandmother. Like during that time, like there was just so much going on in my life. Like, I was just like, I need an outlet. Like, I went to Target, like got one of those like expensive like small notebooks that you know what I mean, like. Yeah. And like nice pens, and I was just like, I did it for like a good like month or two, and like it really helped me, coming to terms with like that death and just like all the hardships that were kind of like happening at that moment in time. But I don't really do it much anymore. I don't know, just because I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, I think you do it when you need to, right? Like,
right. And there's like. There's no shame in forgetting like over the weekend. Like, I used to forget a few days and just like come back to it and just be like, okay, like hey journal, I'm back. Like, sorry, I missed you. But like,
I'm gonna use those words tonight.
I will say, even my handwriting is garbage. As any of my students, they will tell you, Mr. Z can't draw and he can't write to save his life.
I got you. I mean, you don't have to no more, as everything is on, on the screen. So, like that really changes things. I mean, you seen the kids' handwriting? The kids' handwriting, no, it's not good either. They never had a chance. Dog.
Right. They didn't even have to learn cursive in elementary school. Man, can you believe that? That's so crazy to me.
That's why they don't have good signatures, though.
We spent so long learning cursive, and never once did we use it in our adult life.
No, they had me writing cursive until 5th grade. I don't know how long for you, but
yeah, it was 5th grade, 3rd to 5th, and then like they didn't care.
I wonder what it was like for our teachers. Must have been like, they don't even care. Like they don't even want to read it. It's just like, okay, you did it. You finished the sentences.
I have a few students like writing cursive. I'm just like, yo, I cannot read this right now. like my yeah, just like my eyes are moving so crazy right now. Like, I keep just trying to read this.
I gotta do a deep dive into that. Like, where did cursive come from? Why was it so ingrained into our schools? Like, that'd be an interesting topic.
Probably some capitalistic bullshit, man.
Capitalism. Yeah, that's another one we can talk about for a whole episode. I might get in trouble for that one, but we'll see.
I will stay away from that one. It'll be all right.
For now. Last question for you, man. The question that ties everything together. 100, 200, 300 years from now, your descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
Damn, what would I like to tell them? I don't know if I want to be funny or like philosophical. Like,
why not both, man? Why not?
First thing, if there's still some Filipino blood in you, I got a joke for you. How do you make a Filipino a star?
How? That was a great one. Oh my God. My uncle does that in every picture, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. Where did this lie? Why is this the go-to in our culture, man?
Oh my God, that's a good one. I love that. Hey, descendants, that was a great joke if you did not get it.
Other than that, man, my descendants, good luck out there. Hopefully we recycled enough to keep you guys going. All love. Keep those to you who are close. Keep them real close. Hug people every day. Say hello to your family if they're far away. And just, for me, it's like love. It's all love. And hopefully love is a thing 200, 300 years from now, man.
I got you, man. I'm optimistic about it. A lot of realists in my life, and we have debates about that, I'm sure.
Right. I got my days,
Yeah.
I got my days. Some days good, sometimes bad, but optimism all the way.
For sure, dog. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
I want to thank you for having me on here, man. Like, it's been good. It's actually really nice to finally have conversation with you, because we're just so busy at the school.
Yeah, man.
We don't really get to chop it up like that. So it's nice actually having conversation with you. So thank you for having me on here. And this was an enjoyable experience. I've never actually been on a podcast before. So
for sure, man. And thank you again for stopping by. If you know anybody who's down to do something like this, maybe somebody at work, I don't know, but let them know that it's always open. And yeah, I think if I can start with the community that I'm at, which is our school, that maybe it can help push things further in the right direction.
Absolutely.
We shall see, to be determined. What's it called? I want to thank all the folks out there. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, please like, subscribe, share. It's really difficult for me to say those words, dog, because I hear it all the time in every video, but that's the algorithm. But yeah, remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And then it kind of fades out from there, man. Let me just play.
Man, the interview was great. You're a great host, man. The questions were in depth. It was just a lot of fun. And I feel like not a lot of places actually dive into people's lives like that. I feel like there's so much. I'd be listening to a podcast here and there too. I just don't hear enough of those type of questions, and it's kind of refreshing to hear.